And this series sort of tends, they say the true story, but
Right.
I'm not sure it's that much the true story.
Is it the true story because it's from the family's perspective?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. It's from one of the sons who wrote this book in 2000. And the year that his father died, and he was there to really clear the name and restore the reputation of the family. So, of course, I think, probably between his sort of, angelic view of his family and what the media portrayed, it's like two extremes, and there's something, the true story is somewhere in between, but I'm not sure that what we're seeing on TV is exactly the true
Nathalie,
story.
you're an observer of the arts and television community in Quebec with La Presse. 20 years later, and the sensation of this family's story, did you anticipate this series being the huge sensation it has become?
Yes. Completely, and I'm not the only one. I mean, I'm not saying that the public anticipated it, but in the history of Quebec culture in the past 20 years, we have had major successes, rating successes on TV, on French TV. We had the Les Filles de Caleb, and then there was La Petite Vie, there was recently Les Bougons, and strangely enough, every time you get these mega ratings, which is, a lot of 2 million people for, 7 million population is very much.
And to put it into context, it's more than almost any Canadian show outside of Quebec garners on English television.
Yeah.
Ever. Even the big ones, right?
Yeah. So what it is, it's all these TV shows, they always are made on the same base, and that is family. It's always the story of a family. Les Bougons, which was a much better, which was a comedy, which was terrible. It was a family on welfare who were trying to rip off the system any way they could, but it was a family. Before that, La Petite Vie, which was another absurd, it was always a family. So if you have that's first of all, that's something that will attract a lot.
Right.
And then you've got this story that is, sort of, soap opera, easy to follow,
but even given the content, and I understand that the family resonance, you make a good case there for why that works in the Quebec community. I'm just thinking, given the way that most television is consumed in North America these days, which is increasingly on demand, people are PVRing, DVRing, or via DVD. Why do you think so many people have made this appointment television, a show they'll all tune in to see at once, which is something we're seeing less and less of, in general outside of Quebec?
Well, yeah, but what can I say? It's it's Quebec society. It's a captive market. We're French. We're, a little gang in a big, Anglophone ocean. So there is this thing that still, is very important, the closely knit society. And we're not looking at all the shows, like this all the time. There's just it seems every season there's sort of this one show that everybody wants to see at the same time, exactly because it just runs, on Tuesday nights, and then they want to be able to talk about it, the next day. And, it's winter here. There's big snowstorms. We don't want to go out, so we're all watching TV. There's all sorts of that. And I'm not saying that, TV on demand and stuff like that, specialized channels, we have that, and they are slowly, taking up the market. But there are still, every time they come with a story, a gripping story that says something about the identity of Quebec, well, I guess you'll have a big gang watching.
Would you suggest, is it your perspective, that the media plays a role in this? I wonder if the Quebec media, and I'm particularly thinking of the French-speaking, French language media, is perhaps more supportive or plays a larger role in promoting and creating awareness around Quebec-made television productions than we would see with English Canadian media and English television.
You know what? I'm not so sure about that. They do their job. I'm sure that TV critics at the Globe and Mail do their jobs and all that. They do talk about the shows that are being made. But there's other shows that the critics love, and the people. The big mass of the audience doesn't go. It has to be more than that. It's just not just a media thing. It's true that the Lavigueur, they had full a lot of publicity and all that, but it's not the only show that got publicity. So it's really, it goes beyond that. You know, it's something social in a way, and we still are. You know, there's something. You know, it's still a family, Quebec. There is this. It's sort of breaking down a bit sometimes, but it's still there. Mm-hmm. And I think this need to sort of celebrate something. You know, the whole gang together. That's part of it. I think
you're probably right. It's probably also the cold weather, because we don't really have that in the prairies in northern Ontario.
You don't? Sure you do.
No, yeah, of course we do. I mean, let me finally ask you, I mean, you know, as a critic, what do you think of the series? Does it deserve its success? What do you think of Lavigueur?
Well, I don't think it's very, modern TV. It's not. I mean, it's very classical. It's almost, you know, it's a melodrama. The actors are good. There's one fantastic actress with Laurence Leboeuf, who is the daughter who sues. But it's very. I find that it's too. It's not very subtle. I mean, shows like Les Bougons, which was this comedy, this total hilarious comedy, were much more daring. You know, La Petite Vie, which was a comedy also, which with this completely dysfunctional, crazy family. That we've seen. So this is very MOR. I mean, I like TV to be a little bit more daring than this, but you know, it is gripping. I've watched the 2 first episodes. The next episode is tonight, and I mean, I'm going to watch it. I want to see what happens. But it's pretty conventional. You know, it's well made, but pretty conventional.
Natalie, it's great to talk to you. Thanks. It's good to talk to you again, I should say, and thanks for this.
Okay, thanks.